Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Dipal Shah, the Intuitive Body Whisperer, an intuitive health and life worth living mentor, teacher, speaker, and yogi. I want to help you harness your power to greater health and purpose and find your ultimate joy. I am so happy you're here today and I want to welcome you. I hope you'll stay the entire time because I have some great information that will help you re-enter back into the world with ease and grace. So let's dive right in. But before we do that, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. I would love to have you. You will get weekly videos as well as tools and techniques to help you each and every day. So, millions of people of all ages are dealing with socialization issues in the aftermath of the pandemic. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I thought this would be the ideal topic. It has been a year of grief, separation, loneliness, anxiety, uncertainty. It's been a year of a lot of changes in profound and small ways. And you may have experienced this inside your home, outside, in your environment, within your family. My husband and I both have had some losses. We both have been antisocial, and it starts to settle in after a while. Have you noticed that? It doesn't necessarily feel like loneliness, even though there might be moments of that. We've actually been enjoying our time together with the family. And there are times where we feel like, gosh, we haven't seen our friends in forever. They haven't been to our house because every year we have everyone gather here, a family reunion from his side, from my side. We have a friends reunion at our house. And we have so many parties and we go places. And we feel almost abandoned from the world, I guess, in a way. But yet we're okay. And it's sometimes difficult to explain. However, one thing that I have seen is that as we start to re-enter into the world, millions of people, including myself, I was nervous. And you might be too. You might feel anxious about not only what the next steps are, but how to socialize again. What are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to act? In fact, maybe you don't know what the right thing to do is, right? You don't even know how to show up around others. And it starts to get weird. And you start laughing and you start saying, I don't know if I'm supposed to hug you, kiss you. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with you. And so it's getting uncomfortable, creating these weird emotions. And it's like people are afraid to say something, what their comfort level is. But there is a sense of panic within and outside that is happening. And this stress is so debilitating that maybe you're refusing to even socialize. You're like, well, what's the point? It doesn't make any sense. If I have to go through all those emotions, what's the point of even going out? It is affecting the mental health of every individual, whether you know it consciously or subconsciously. And I work a lot with the subconscious. If you've seen or listened to my other episodes or watched my videos on YouTube, you will know that I work with the subconscious programming of our body because we are made up of the conscious and the subconscious. And when the subconscious is so strong, it will start coming to the surface and causing triggers. And that's what you're having are these triggers when these emotions and these feelings come up for you. What you're having at this time is called delayed social syndrome. And we're going to get more into that as to what this is because you need to know and hear it. Delayed social syndrome is when a wave of depression, panic, anxiety, frustration, anger, and overwhelm overcomes you after a traumatic event when communicating with others. And it's a term that I have used because as we're re entering into the world, we're finding ourselves scared, gathering with friends, stepping out of that door, going to restaurants, going to shopping centers. I went the other day to TJ Maxx in my community. I could not believe the lines, number one, because I guess they don't have enough people to work, which is unfortunate right now with a lot of companies. The lines were ridiculous. People were almost on top of each other. There was no social distancing. As I'm standing in line, there's people moving closer to me as if it's just no pandemic. They're wearing their mask, which is perfectly fine. However, there was no social distancing, and I felt uncomfortable. And so this did bring a little worry and anxiety within me. But I'm going to share with you how to work with this because it's really, really important for you to not only socialize, but also feel comfortable when you do socialize. Now, I've had my vaccine. So, should I feel comfortable? Sure, I can. But do I? I do when I make sure that my boundaries are taken care of. And you should too. This is becoming a huge issue. And so let's go over the signs and symptoms that show that you are having delayed social syndrome. Some of the things that I've seen in my practice and what I have experienced as well is depression, worry, frustration, anger, nervousness, regret, guilt, and all of these things are happening either during the socialization, well, before, during, or after. And what I mean by before is just thinking about it. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go out. And there's going to be a lot of people. Are they all going to be wearing their mask? All these thoughts are going through your mind. And then while you're there, you're thinking, oh goodness, that person just came close to me. Oh, they're not wearing a mask. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get corona. And then you go home and you're like, oh, was I too close? Am I coughing? Am I sneezing? Do I have a fever? Are these things going through your mind afterwards? Because I remember initially they were mine. In my mind, they were going through every single time I stepped out the door. But I realized it is my own inner feelings and thoughts and beliefs that are coming up through my subconscious. And I'm making assumptions, even though I am careful. It's almost like, okay, I'm a safe driver. However, is the other person a safe driver? And you don't know what to expect once you walk out into the world. So if you're going to socialize, know that you are following the CDC guidelines. So you should feel comfortable in that. And of course, number 2, you're following your intuition. And when you follow your intuition, you are doing the right things. So, here's a few steps that you can take when you socialize. Know that others are feeling the same way. So it's okay to say something, to speak up, and to have clear boundaries. If you do not like something, move. Know that only you can create the change. No one else is going to change. For example, when I went to TJ Maxx and that person was getting closer, I had to shift my mind. I had to move a little bit further. I had to speak up and I had to say, your dot is over there. Because I love how they have those little stickers that say 6 feet distance. And so don't be afraid to say something. Do what makes you feel comfortable. Wear your mask, speak up, create boundaries, and don't gather where you know there's a lot of people. Initially, you may feel like, gosh, I don't want to go where there's a lot of people. And that's okay. Maybe there's family reunions, weddings. You shouldn't have guilt for saying no to family members because you may be gathering in closed spaces. If it is a closed space, remember to say no unless you feel comfortable. But if you're having delayed social syndrome, you might want to start slowly until you start feeling more and more comfortable. Of course, the cases are going down in the US. And unfortunately, cases are going up in other parts of the world. And we send our prayers to them. India is out of control. But that is only because people were not wearing their mask. Those that were vaccinated were not vaccinated with the same vaccines as the vaccine in the US. The efficacy of the vaccine is not as efficacious as the one in the US. And they're getting their first vaccine and not the second. So there's many variables that are taking place in other parts of the world that are contributing to high rising cases. However, here within the US, because we are all very educated, we know what's best for our brothers and sisters and humanity, and we care for each other. We want to do what's best for us and our fellow man. And so, wearing your mask, being careful, recognizing and what feels right within you, do those things, take those steps, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to feel silly. Don't feel afraid to be left out. It's okay. And I want you to feel the most comfortable that you can in your social setting. It might be just gathering with one other person. Figure out what number of people makes you feel safe. And it might be in someone's backyard or only in your own backyard. And that's okay too. You don't have to go to restaurants. You don't have to go to weddings. You don't have to go to any social event. Do what feels safe to you, but be social because that is good for your mental health. And start to gather with a friend. It is good for you and it's good for them. So I hope this helps each and every one of you. And please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave a comment below if this video was helpful to you. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all soon. Much blessings and love, and namaste to you.